For more frequent video uploads, feel free to support AnimeKouhai at Patreon. The link is in the description below.
As breathlessly confident as always, I see. It's like he never once considered the thought of being turned down.
I can't pay them, but would they care?
If you can provide them with physical bodies, they will gladly serve you, Sir Rimuru.
He was so sure of it. And if he was, I had nothing to say. But there is one thing I better ask.
So how many people are you expecting to serve you?
By his manner of speech, I was picturing a small handful, but I needed to know how many bodies I should prepare to make.
Well, I was thinking perhaps several hundred, 1,000 at most.
That's a lot.
1,000 at most? And they're all demons? What kind of doomsday army was he trying to build?
What, are you trying to have a war by yourself?
No, I'd hardly expect them to battle me. Even if they did, I doubt it would be a hard fight for me.
And so deadpan about it, too. Where does all that confidence of his come from?
Are you gonna be okay, though?
Yes, perhaps there is no need for such a large number. Very well. I will carefully choose among them and dispose of the unnecessary.
No, I didn't mean that. I'm asking if you're gonna be okay.
Diablo gave me one of his happy smiles.
There will not be a problem.
He declared. Well, now it just seemed ridiculous to worry about him. For all I knew, Diablo may very well be stronger than me. If he says it's not a problem, there was no point in me protesting.
Alright, I'll prepare 1,000 vessels for you.
You will, Sir Rimuru?
Sure, I need to reward you anyway. So try not to get yourself hurt doing this, alright? I didn't think I needed to worry, but I went ahead and said it anyway.
Diablo bowed at me, overcome with emotion.
Very well, then. It pains me to say this, Sir Rimuru, but I hope you will forgive my absence for a period of time as I prepare.
Part of me just wanted to say, yeah, to him.
You can leave things to me for now. Get going.
Shein sounded like she was showing someone she disliked the door. I could kind of empathize with her. She must have been feeling the same way I did. Wasting no time to strike while the iron was hot, Diablo decided to head right out on his journey. To be honest, I was a little anxious about having Shein be my only secretary, but, hell, Shuna was there for emergencies, and I doubted anything too hairy would happen. Such were my thoughts as I saw Diablo off with a smile.
Volume 10, Chapter 2, Lively Days, Part 1.
A few days after our previous meeting, a party finally made it past floor 30. This was Masayuki's team, and just as he had worked out with Myeolmile, they were making their way down the dungeon at a steady clip. It was fixed, I'll freely admit that, but what the general public didn't know wouldn't hurt them. Besides, with his chosen one skill, Masayuki can make some pretty big screw-ups and still look squeaky clean to everyone around him. I couldn't ask for a better advertising partner. So we held a big announcement inside the labyrinth that the Orc Lord guarding floor 30, as well as his 5 henchmen, had been slain. The results were electrifying. Cheers erupted from the inns and taverns people gathered at
Masayuki, Masayuki.
You could hear it all across town, and Masayuki reacted to the chants with a casual smile. His expression was stiff, to say the least, but to the crowds, it must have looked like a radiant smile. Once again, Masayuki's fame and popularity had risen to the stars. Some shops even held Masayuki the Hero 30-floor commemoration sales. With all the excitement, and all the merchants whose eyes sparkled at the potential profits, things were, to say the least, lively. Now we were holding another meeting in the conference room we had built in the labyrinth.
Ah, the populace loves you more than ever, don't they, Hero?
Rimuru, can you not pick on me, please? It's hard.
I thought my choice of greeting would be a fun way to break the ice, but he really did seem overwhelmed.
Truly an excellent performance. Magnificent. Stirring.
Myeolmile couldn't help but join in. He really meant it, too, making Masayuki snicker a little. Now I see. If this is how everyone reacted to him, I could understand how that would get tiring.
I really didn't do much of anything, though.
Oh, there you go again. You're such a modest champion, Sir Masayuki.
I doubted Masayuki was being modest at all. An ogre lord ranks a B+ as a monster, and its henchmen would all be B level, too. One B-ranked monster could threaten the existence of a small village, and here we had a small group of such monsters, so beating floor 30 requires serious talent. But Masayuki's team emerged from that battle without any major issues. The mithril armor I gave Jinrai did a lot to boost his defense. So the party's strategy involved keeping the monster's attention squarely on him, an effective one, as it turned out. The rest of the party was pretty decent, too, focusing their attacks to unlock some pretty powerful magic. Bernie's elemental magic, Jiwoo's spirit magic, and Masayuki's chosen one-based buff effect all worked together to raise their abilities to their peaks. Masayuki said he didn't do anything, but, really, he played a huge role just standing there.
Still, not that it's for me to say, but we couldn't ask for much better advertising. Having rare equipment from a distinct series show up in the chests is quite attractive to a lot of people.
Right? I came up with that one.
Equipment that unlocked special effects if you completed the whole set. That was an idea I discussed with Kurabe, and the memory of that discussion inspired him to make a test set, the so-called Ogre series. The gold box inside Floor 30's boss room awards you with one random item from that set, which was really a diabolical way of going about it. There were 5 weapons, an axe, sword, bow, saber, and knife, and 5 pieces of armor, the helm, breastplate, gauntlets, gaiters, and boots. No shield included. What you got was completely down to luck. You were guaranteed an Ogre series item, but you didn't even know whether you'd get a weapon or a piece of armor. Plus, keep in mind, there was no guarantee you'd see a series piece drop. The gold box the boss guarded was programmed to drop rare items 2% of the time. Even if you beat the Ogre Lord once an hour, that box would still only contain 24 items a day. You'd be lucky to see a rare drop every other day, at that rate. It's the perfect drop rate, in fact, to encourage the gambler side of people's psyches. It's human nature to want to collect them all. If you obtained a piece you already had, you could always trade or sell it. Now people had yet another reason to tackle the labyrinth.
And we picked up the Ogre Greaves.
Yeah, and if you can find all 5 armor pieces, it'll grant you magic interference, which is a powerful anti-magic skill. Real effective against the boss at floor 40, hint, hint.
It was the same effect boasted by the scale shield I gifted Kabul a while back. That shield gave you the effect by itself, but with the Ogre series, you needed the whole armor set to unlock it. That's the difference between a unique piece of equipment and a rare one. And to be honest, the Ogre series was made from the magisteel we salvaged from the byproducts of processing the shield like scales of Charybdis. This meant it was already a powerful magic blocker, effective against the Tempest Serpent's poisonous breath, and I hoped people were excited about collecting them.
Oh, really?
So the tactic I'm hoping people adopt going forward is to collect the whole set before taking on the next boss.
With Masayuki's team conquering Floor 30, we had now formally announced the Ogre series. It wouldn't be long before the information spread worldwide, and I'm sure it'd energize even more would-be challengers to try their own hand at the labyrinth. Parties were allowed to be up to 10 people in the dungeon. No matter how strong a group of monsters you found in there, if you had a party of adventurers ranked B or higher, there was nothing they had zero chance defeating. It'd be a trial and error process ahead for them, I'm sure, but if they think of it as training for group battles against monsters, I think it'd be good experience for them. I definitely want them to build up their equipment for the floors beyond. Besides, everything was going to plan. We didn't miss a thing.
That's your idea, huh? So you think we need to complete the series?
Well, that's a good question. The mithril armor I gave Jinrai is a rare piece as well. It's got no special traits, but it provides better defense than the Ogre breastplate. You could just keep pushing and beat the Tempest Serpent that way, maybe.
The serpent was a tough foe, but there'd be only one of it. Tackle it with a party, and your strategy would probably involve keeping a decoy healed while the rest of the gang fought. That would be Jinrai with this group, and I figured he'd be up to the task.
Alright, in that case, we'll keep going down.
Gotcha. Good luck, okay? Because you're the best pitchman we got.
Jinrai and the others are a lot more enthusiastic about this than I am, but yeah. I think having monsters drop items is kinda adding to the fun, too. It's always exciting to discover a chest, but
the simple idea of having monsters drop items turned out to be absolutely the correct thing to do. Some monsters, skeletons, for example, didn't have any materials to harvest, and their magic crystals could often be low quality and worth pocket change. The stronger an explorer you were, the more of a pain in the ass monsters like that became to deal with, but now things had changed. The creatures that parties used to reluctantly mow down were now getting actively hunted again. With monster materials circulating more than ever in the marketplace, I couldn't ask for better results. Giving labyrinth-generated monsters items was actually pretty simple. The Dryads, led by Trainee, helped us out with that, taking newly born monsters and having them swallow the items. That sounded tricky, given that monsters may appear anywhere in the labyrinth and you can't track them all. In fact, though, there was no need to. The flow of magicules in each floor was supplied with special pipes. These pipes were set up to run through certain rooms from floor 5 downward, rooms that subsequently would have lots of monsters born in them. Monster layers, you could call them. To manage the labyrinth, Trainee and the Dryads would place the items I specified in each of these rooms, the monsters would swallow them up, and then the Dryads released them into the maze at large. Tracking all the monsters generated in the labyrinth was a pain, but one greatly reduced by only having to watch over the monster layers on each floor. Monsters who self-generated in the regular corridors wouldn't carry any items, but that wasn't a problem, we didn't need every single monster to drop something anyway. Thus, we had a reasonably efficient way to enable monsters to carry items around on each floor. I originally envisioned the monster layers as a kind of trap, but now they were more like administrative pens. Of course, you might see a hapless party tiptoe into these rooms right when they were packed to the rafters with monsters. But hey, it adds to the tension. It's all part of the charm for everyone. You never know what you may find around the corner.
And the appraisers are working around the clock. We're charging 1 silver per appraisal, but there's pretty much a line at all times.
From slain monsters, you may find flasks of fruit juice or milk, magically treated to keep for several days, plus a few low potions mixed in. Some of these drinks might go bad after a while, of course, so an appraisal was a must. We also threw in some of the failed efforts from Kurobi's apprentices, junk that we then bought off them for cheap. This might sound like we were taking a loss on them, but they're kind of like crane game prizes, reinvesting our profits in order to attract more customers. And speaking of prizes, we had to have some jackpots, of course. Occasionally, we'd mix in a masterpiece from Kurobi's assistants. This, of course, generated a ton of buzz, with people going around town showing off the special sword or whatever that they picked up inside the labyrinth. It really added that addictive touch we were hoping for. Now, like ants to a hill of sugar, we were seeing people come back again and again.
That's it for this video, guys. Thank you for always watching my videos and supporting my channel. Shout out to Night Gazer, Mark Nathan Padua, Camille Britannia, Lucifer, Mac Di Gandelera, Ilya Hakobian, Wubba Lubba Dub Dub, Chad Vota, Bradley Hunter, and last but not the least, shout out to Neil Thakkar. I'll see you guys in the next video.